The Dodgers walked into Atlanta with confidence, but Game 1 against the Braves ended in one of the most frustrating ways possible. Los Angeles had already shown the ability to fight back from an early deficit. They had their chances late in the game. And then, in the 9th inning, Shohei Ohtani delivered exactly the kind of moment Dodgers fans were waiting for. But it still wasn't enough. The Braves escaped with a 4-3 victory, leaving the Dodgers with a painful question. How did they come so close to completing the comeback, only to watch the game slip away at the very end? And beyond the final score, the game reportedly became even more controversial after the final out, with an alleged confrontation involving Ohtani and Braves players drawing significant attention. Let's start with what happened on the field. The biggest storyline before the game was Tyler Glasnow's return to the mound. After an extended absence, Glasnow was finally back in the Dodgers' rotation, giving Los Angeles another potentially important weapon heading into the final stretch of the season. But his return did not begin the way anyone expected. The Braves immediately attacked in the first inning. Glasnow struggled to locate his pitches consistently, and Atlanta took advantage of the opportunities in front of them. Before the inning was finally over, the Braves had scored 3 runs. Glasnow reportedly needed around 35 pitches just to complete the opening frame. For the Dodgers, falling behind 3-0 so early was a major problem. But instead of allowing the game to disappear, the offense immediately began fighting back. In the second inning, Alek Thomas and Hunter Fiducia delivered consecutive RBI hits, cutting Atlanta's lead to 3-2. Suddenly, the Dodgers were back in the game, and the momentum began to change. Los Angeles continued putting pressure on the Braves, and Alex Cora later delivered an RBI single that tied the game at 3-3. Just like that, the 3-run deficit was gone. What was supposed to be a difficult night after Glasnow's first inning had become a completely different baseball game, and credit has to go to Glasnow as well. After the opening inning, he settled down. His command improved, he limited further damage, and most importantly, he kept the Dodgers within striking distance. Considering the circumstances of his return, that adjustment was one of the more encouraging parts of the night, but once the score reached 3-3, the game became a battle of execution. Every runner mattered, every pitch mattered, every mistake could potentially decide the outcome. And eventually, one mistake did. In the 8th inning, Tanner Scott entered with the responsibility of protecting the tie, but Atlanta found an opportunity. A crucial hit allowed the Braves to move back in front, 4-3. Now the Dodgers had only 3 outs remaining. 1 run was all they needed to force the game into extra innings. And leading off the 9th inning was Shohei Ohtani. This was the kind of moment where a superstar can completely change a game. Ohtani had struggled to find a big hit earlier, but he only needed 1 opportunity. Facing Raisel Iglesias, Ohtani connected with a pitch and drove the ball deep toward the opposite field. It wasn't a home run, but Ohtani immediately recognized that he had a chance for something even more important. He accelerated, he rounded first base, then second, and instead of stopping there, Ohtani kept going. He raced all the way to third base for a huge triple. Suddenly, everything changed. The Dodgers had their most dangerous possible situation. Ohtani was standing at third base, there were no outs, and Los Angeles needed only 1 run to tie the game. According to the win probability movement referenced in the provided account, the Dodgers' chances reportedly jumped from 16.5% to 44.6% after Ohtani's triple. That tells you just how important that play was. Ohtani had done his job, he had created the opportunity. Now the Dodgers needed someone behind him to finish it. But that's where the comeback stopped. Freddie Freeman came to the plate with the chance to bring Ohtani home, but he struck out. Mookie Betts followed, but his ground ball resulted in another out. The Braves then intentionally walked Max Muncy, creating another opportunity for Los Angeles. Now Tommy Edman represented the Dodgers' final chance. 1 productive swing could tie the game. 1 mistake from Atlanta could change everything, but Edman could only lift a fly ball to center field. The final out was recorded. Ohtani remained stranded at third, and the Dodgers lost 4-3. For Los Angeles, that was the definition of a missed opportunity. They had erased a 3-run deficit. They had tied the game. Ohtani had put the tying run just 90 feet away, but the final hit never arrived. And that is what makes this loss so frustrating. The Dodgers weren't dominated from beginning to end. They actually showed resilience. They responded, they fought, they created the exact situation they wanted in the 9th inning. But baseball rewards execution, not almost. And Atlanta executed better when it mattered most. However, the story reportedly didn't end with the final out. After the Braves celebrated their victory, an alleged confrontation involving Ohtani and several Braves players reportedly drew attention. According to the account provided, some Braves players approached Ohtani after the game in a provocative manner. One reported video was said to show insulting comments being directed toward the Dodgers star. Those details should be treated cautiously unless independently confirmed, but the alleged confrontation is significant because Ohtani reportedly did not initially engage. Instead, he appeared to be trying to leave the situation behind. That would fit the image of a player who generally avoids unnecessary confrontations and keeps his attention on baseball. But according to the account, the situation allegedly escalated when one Braves player moved toward Ohtani and physical contact occurred. Ohtani reportedly lost his balance and went to the ground. The Dodgers dugout reacted immediately. Mookie Betts, Max Muncy, Freddie Freeman and other teammates reportedly rushed toward the situation as players from both teams gathered near the dugout area. At that point, what had started as a reported verbal exchange had the potential to become much more serious. Umpires and stadium personnel reportedly intervened to separate the groups. The scene reportedly took several minutes to fully calm down. And this is where it is important to separate confirmed game action from allegations surrounding the post-game incident. If MLB reviewed the incident, the league would need to examine video from multiple angles, umpire reports, security footage, and witness accounts. In a situation involving numerous players, responsibility cannot simply be assigned to everyone who entered the area. A player attempting to separate teammates is obviously different from someone who allegedly initiates physical contact. That distinction would be critical in any disciplinary review. The incident also matters because of who was involved. Shohei Ohtani isn't simply another player on the Dodgers roster, he is one of the most important pieces of the team's present and future plans, and the Dodgers are also hoping to see him return to a more complete two-way role. That means keeping Ohtani healthy is an enormous priority. Any unnecessary contact involving him naturally creates concern because an injury could affect both his offensive contribution and his pitching plans. But even without the reported confrontation, this game already contained an important lesson for Los Angeles. The Dodgers have to become more efficient in high-pressure situations. Coming back from 3-0 was impressive. Glasnow recovering after the first inning was encouraging. Ohtani's 9th inning triple was spectacular, but none of those things changed the final score because the Dodgers couldn't finish the rally, and that is exactly the kind of issue that can become much more important in October. In the postseason, opportunities are limited. Sometimes you get one runner on third with nobody out, sometimes you get one pitch, sometimes you get one chance to change an entire series. If the Dodgers want to make a deep postseason run, they cannot consistently leave those opportunities unfinished. There are still positives to take from this game. Glasnow showed that even after a rough beginning, he could settle down and keep his team competitive. The offense showed that it can fight back against a strong opponent. And Ohtani demonstrated once again that he can create offense in multiple ways. His triple was especially important because it showed that his speed remains a major weapon. He didn't need to hit the ball over the fence. He simply found a gap, trusted his legs, and turned a potential extra base hit into a triple. But now the Dodgers have to move forward. One loss does not decide a season. The Braves may have won Game 1, but the series isn't finished. The Dodgers still have opportunities to respond, and that response could be more important than the loss itself. Can their hitters become more productive with runners in scoring position? Can the bullpen protect narrow leads? Can Glasnow build on his return and gradually regain his best form? And most importantly, can Ohtani continue producing while remaining healthy during this critical stage of the season? Those are the questions that matter now, because the Dodgers don't need to be perfect. They simply need to execute when the biggest moments arrive. Game 1 showed that they can fight back. It showed that they can survive a terrible start. If you're a Dodgers and Shohei Ohtani fan, make sure you like this video, subscribe to Baseball Pulse, turn on notifications, and share this video with another MLB fan. And let me know in the comments, after Ohtani reached third with nobody out in the ninth, did you think the Dodgers were going to tie the game? Because the next game could tell us a lot about how this Dodgers team responds under pressure.